Hi everyone, I'm Shruti Bora and you are listening and watching to Expert Matters, the show where we decode careers, industries and success stories straight from the industry leaders. Today's guest is Abhishek Bansal. He's a CFA charter holder, ex-investment banker, turned entrepreneur and the man who scaled Rajasthan Royals licensing and merchandising revenue. From building kitchen access in the F&B space to closing deals with global brands, his journey is full of lessons for anyone starting out. Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shruti. Pleasure to be here, and look forward to a meaningful conversation with you.
Definitely. We are going to ask you a lot of questions.
I'm all set.
First of all, can you just give us a little bit context about your journey so far in the industry?
Sure, Shruti. So I started my journey almost 10 years back. I graduated in 2014 from Delhi University, did BCom honors. Then, like a lot of people who are graduating, I had a very faint clue about what I want to do in my life. I had a broader sense that, okay, I want to do something in finance. And that was primarily for two reasons. I saw I'm a little better than my peers in finance and, stocks and other things. And second of all, I just had a chance to watch Wolf of Wall Street and I got very influenced. And I thought, okay,
Oh, wow.
this is what I want to do in my life. I had no clue what an investment banker is and what do they do, but okay, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I graduated back in 2014 and then I decided, okay, let's start with doing CFA. That will give me a good technical understanding of finance. So did my level 1 in 2014. After that, I took an internship in equity research to understand various fields around finance which I was studying. Then after my internship, did my level 2, worked with an insurance company called Expo Catlin in their investments team. Role was around portfolio management. They had some $40 billion portfolio, and my role was to assist the investment team in making decisions. Did that, realize this is not my cup of tea, too much quant. But by then, I realized what investment banking is and what do they do. So I decided, okay, let me reach out to a lot of M&As and startup focused M&As in this country because back in 2016, 17, startup ecosystem was booming. So I felt this would be a good space to learn about new emerging businesses. And luckily got a break in 2017 after I cleared my level 3 with a boutique iBank firm called Mereces Advisors. They primarily work with early stage startups on their fundraise, Series B, Series C, and M&A. Joined them as an analyst, spent 2.5 years over there with them. My goal at that time was, okay, I'll start there. I'll do 2-3 years of my work ex, and then I'll go into the US and do my MBA from there. Like, if I really want
Wow.
to big in investment banking, I'll go and work with a Ivy League college and take a and work there for an iBank. Then back then, when I gave my GMAT in 2019, unfortunately, I flopped the show. I didn't score that great, and I was about to give my second exam, my second retake. Then suddenly, one of my really close friends came to me with a business proposition of cloud kitchens, and at that time, I was also working on few cloud kitchen fundraisers. So that somehow related to me. Decided not to give my GMAT exam, and we decided to go and start Kitchen Access. That was around January 2020. I left my job, came back to Delhi. We finalized everything, all the places, and then the COVID happened, so we could not go live with our startup. So 6 months, 7 months, we tinkered around, figured out if we can do it in some other way, but it was not working out. So in January 2021, we decided to take a plunge, considering that there's so much uncertainty, but that will always going to be there. So let's go and take a plunge. So 2021, we went live. In 9 months, we scaled it to 2 kitchens, partnered with 7-8 brands, started doing some 10 lakh, 12 lakh rupees of revenue. We started breaking even. We started to get a lot of investment opportunities like seed funding. We were able to close one round for seed fund as well, but unfortunately around January it fell. Third wave COVID hit, and then we saw that people have stopped ordering. There was a massive revenge wave, like people were revenging against the COVID outbreak and they were going out and eating. We saw the business plunge across all our brands and felt that this business model will not work and will be limited to major metros. So decided to exit Kitchen Excess, did a slump sale. We decided to exit. Then apparently, went completely broke in building Kitchen Excess. So thought, okay, now I have to gain some stability in life. So decided to take a role with Rajasthan Royals. Idea was twofold. First, I'll work with the sports was booming at that, like IPL is booming in itself. So it was at an inflection point, and IPL teams make revenue for just 3-4 months, and beyond that, there's a wide void where they can make a lot of, they can monetize their brand. So decided to join them as a EIR, entrepreneur in residence, and build new business brands around the brand. Uh, then when I joined, I took up the licensing business, which I felt is pretty under penetrated in India compared to how the other Western sports clubs operate. Uh, Spent 10 years, scaled the licensing business almost 10x from $10,000 in royalties to almost $150,000 in royalties and counting. And then I realized, okay, I set up the foundations and it's time for me to move out. I decided to exit RR and I was again back to public markets, saved up a decent money. I wanted to start up again, so exploring new ideas. But at the same time, with the money I have, I've been actively trading and creating content around financial markets. Idea is simple. People want to invest in stocks, but they don't have that desired expertise to go and take up their calls. I'm just trying to help them share broader frameworks which can allow them to be a better investor. That's been my broader life journey till date, Shruti.
That's a fully fledged career. You work with different industries, different roles. There's a spark in you which shows that you try to experiment with your creativity every now and then. So that's lovely. And of course, it's not an easy thing transitioning from so many different roles altogether. You've moved from banking to startups to sports. There are a lot of students who are worried about being stuck in one path. So, what is going to be your advice on that?
So for me, everything was very organic. I mean, like when I graduated from college, one thing was clear. Okay, I want to do something in investment banking, and that was the first few years where I channeled all my energy and efforts. After that, it was very organic. So even if someone asks me, what should I do, and I suggest you take up choose one thing first, go in it, and then things will automatically organically build up, because that's what our early career is for, to try and experiment different things and then see what suits us the best. Even let's say before going into M&As and fundraising, within finance I worked with equity research in portfolio management. Then I was able to figure out, okay, no, this is where my skill set aligns best. And even then within that, the startup opportunity was very organic, would not have been possible if I have not gone into investment banking, and my RR stint would not have been possible if I would have not started up, because they were looking for someone who has that entrepreneurial zeal in them. So
Correct.
that's how I'll say, like, you start with something, go organic, experiment with different things, and then eventually it'll build organically for you. So that's how I'll suggest people to go and take it up.
That's actually a great thing because a lot of people think that whenever they start their career in whatever industry or whatever role, they feel like that's the final destination they have, and throughout their entire career journey, they have to be in this domain. So somebody starting from sales is fearing to get into operations. He or she, students think that it might lead them to starting their career again all over again. So, that's a great reminder that your first job isn't your final destination. You have a lot of opportunities with every switch, and you should keep, experimenting with your creativity every now and then.
Like so many founders when I have worked with during my banking days, started with something and were eventually building something altogether different and were very highly successful into it. So I will not say that, okay, what you started with, you want to make something in that only. I mean, it's great that you're really passionate about it, but
Right.
there'll be a lot of opportunities that will be thrown your way as you progress through your career, and then you can take and pick a call. Okay, this is what I really want to do. So don't be like, yeah, I want to do something else and this is what I'm getting, start with it. Whatever you're getting, organically things will work out. So
Definitely.
that's what I'll tell people. And
Abhishek, if you were in college all over again, what would be the major skill set which you would focus on to succeed in, the industry nowadays, which is very fast growing?
Um, if I would be in college all over again, so when I was in my college days, no, I was very shy and a very introvert kind of a person. So if I'll go back again, I'll change that. Like I'll be a lot more, a lot more. I'll spend a lot of time on activities which build up my narrative and
Mm-hmm.
my storytelling skills. So that is something which I realized is very important because that is something I had to work hard on after I graduated, and I felt was one of the reasons that I was able to finally perform better than my peers. So if I would be in college, I'll say work on things which will allow you to be a better storyteller and a better presenter, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. You do anything in life, like even if you want to do a business, you have to be a better at sales. You have to pitch your business to the investors. You have to pitch your business to your clients. You have to pitch your business to the potential employees you'll be hiring. So it's all about selling the vision. So that really helps. uh, you know so skills are bifurcating two segments. One is a functional skill and one is a sectoral skill, right? Functional skill I feel will be solved a lot by AI, because anything, even if I use finance for my AI for analysis now. Like if I want to analyze one company, I use an AI. I use a if I want to understand a sector, I use an AI app. So that is now being solved for. So, but narrative building, how to present that story, it's still something that we need to work upon and we have to get better at. So that is something I would, and of course, now so you have to have a good understanding of how to use the AI tools. So that's paramount important. But majorly narrative building is something I would really work hard and push forward. Would have saved a couple of years, which I have to spend after my college days.
Love it. Like you mentioned, that technical skill set is important, but at the same time, knowing your people skills is equally important. And that would be a very important skill set when you are in a college to build out, because, like you said, you will struggle a lot if you start working in the industry and start developing on your storytelling or your communication skills at the same time. So it's better to
Exactly.
start early.
Exactly, because that is something that is a complete constant. So one has to have a good sense on it.
Definitely. Like, when you build kitchen access without massive funding, there that gives a lot of inspiration to people who also want to start something but lack funds. How can students start small but still make a huge impact?
So nowadays, as a lot of people like entrepreneurs who came and have been successful, so they are definitely giving back to the society and are being an active contributor by funding in startup themselves. So solving for money should be the second element. First, I suggest, like, if somebody is starting up and they have a broader sense of what they want to build in, I would first suggest go and build. So I read this, I follow this guy Naval Ravikant a lot, and he says, like, you go and build for solve for accountability, leverage, and specific knowledge. So if you solve for these three things, that will automatically people will be ready to bankroll on you. And when I say leverage, you mean, you go and, you showcase that, okay, you are the person who's capable of doing this, and you're the right person to do this. So once that problem is solved for, people will be ready to bankroll you. Now, how do you showcase that you're the most capable person? Go build a strong operational and sectoral under experience of something you want to build your business in. Go take a job, work, understand that sector, showcase something that demonstrates you have the capability to do that. Build your accountability. Then there's a lot of money available in the ecosystem who's ready to bankroll you. And you know when you're working, save up some money for your small POC. Now, POC does not have to be a very grand thing. Like, you try experiment at a micro market with a very small subset with 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees. If you, let's say, you want to build a consumer brand, you try it with a very small amount, see how the traction is. Then automatically people can come in, VC funds can come in, early angel investors can come in, and who can bankroll you to go and scale it up. So that will be my advice altogether. Like when I started at Kitchen Access, I saved up for 5 years, which I used it to seed fund my business. I got a partner, my co-founder came in, we seed funded. With that, we had like an 1 year of money in our account. We used that to, try our POC kitchen. After we were able to demonstrate success, we started to get a lot of investor interest from angel investors who were ready to bankroll it to scale it to 5, 10, 20 kitchens. So that's how I'll suggest. You go and you build your accountability and specific knowledge, and you will be able to then attract a lot of people who are ready to bankroll you.
Super encouraging. So you suggest that, whatever you have, you start with it, test and grow with it, and at the same time, you will automatically attract fundings.
Exactly. And I have this very big motto: whatever you do it in public. Like that was my experience when I was building Kitchen Access. Like uh, whatever I saw a massive difference when I started sharing my insights in public forums on LinkedIn. So people were able to get a lot more, confidence in me. So I will suggest whatever you are doing, do it in public. You have now the social media gives us a great distribution. Go build your personal brand. Go write on Twitter. Go write on LinkedIn. And that will really help you and demonstrate the understanding of on your behalf.
Super encouraging. Let's talk about networking a bit. For students with no corporate experience, say for example, freshers who recently graduated, how can they build networks that actually open doors for them?
Again, like just bankrolling on our previous topic, building in public really helps. So like even when, let's say, if I give my example, like when I was building Kitchen Access and we were exploring investor fundraise, right? I had some connects because of my past background, but a lot of conversations that happened through cold emailing. I must have sent like thousands of cold emails to investors, and probably out of them 100 replied, and out of them 10 took a call, and out of them 2 converted to have a final conversation with us. So, just first of all, cold emailing is the best thing. And my motto is simple. If you have the credibility, competence, then go and write simple. All you need is one credible person who's in a good mood at a very specific day when he's reading or when he or she is reading your message, they're most likely to respond. Because people inherently, I feel, are very helpful. They would want to help people who actually they feel is deserving. So like I said, build in public, use that as a mechanism to go and cold email people, or they will most likely revert if they find you, that you have the passion and the competence to make it in this segment. So do
Definitely.
that, and people will most likely get back to you despite your pressure.
Love it. That's a value first approach. Uh, Add some value in your cold emailing, show people that you have potential, and then they will gradually help you out with whatever you are doing in life.
Exactly, right. And an idea should be simple, like you have to just think that okay, there'll be 100 of other people who will be messaging them. How can you create a differentiating factor? And that is where
Correct.
your own specific work can help and create a differentiating factor on your behalf.
Definitely. I have one very interesting question for you. One failure that taught you the most, and how students can turn their setbacks into
Oh,
stepping stones.
one I've had multiple failures in my life. Like, it started right after, I've been failing since my school days altogether, academically, and then, of course. But, like, one of the most recent and the most dear failure to me is when I failed Kitchen Access. That was a very challenging time. But at that time, it felt like everything is dark and there's, there's no road ahead. But afterwards, I felt that it has been a very liberating factor for me for few reasons. One is it built a strong self conviction in me. Like when I saw my entire journey, I saw that okay, here I was negotiating with a top billionaire for fundraise. Then here I was doing this thing which I would have never imagined. So showcase how far I have come in my life. So that was very positive. Second, it fostered, of course, self conviction. Okay, if I can do this thing, I can do it again. Second of all, I realized that I was afraid of losing money. But after I lost money, I realized that this fear is not that big a thing, and you can still make it big. So, so that was like one of the and now if I know very well that the next time I'll start up, I'll be way more better than when I did the first time. So that has been a great learning experience. So the failures can be a great learning experience as long as they're able to take some insights out of them. So
Very much
yeah, that's been the quote, and which is the most dear failure to me, to be very honest.
amazing. This was packed with insights because your journey, it shows that real growth often comes from the tough moments in life and not the smoothest one of them.
Yes,
So
very
it's super inspiring conversation.
sure.
I think, Abhishek, we have come to the end of the interview. We have covered everything from career pivots to practical networking tips. I think to all our listener, check out Abhishek's LinkedIn and articles. Links are in the show notes. And thank you so much, Abhishek, to joining us today on Expert Matters. That was a privilege to learn about your failures and your success points.
Pleasure, Shruti. It's wonderful that you're taking up such an initiative and helping the next generation of students go and give very valuable tips. I hope I had such access in my days. So would have been
Thank you so
very
much for saying that.
pleasure. Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.